Hello everyone, many asked me to do a video on how my day looks like from the moment I wake up until I sleep. So today I'm going to take you through a day in the life of a plastic surgery resident. Usually I wake up around 5:30 a.m. It takes me a few minutes to get up, brush my teeth, wear my scrubs, and then I usually remote access to chart check the patients just to see if anything happened overnight, vitals, if any labs came back, ins and outs. If I have some time, I usually make coffee and then I head to work. When I arrive to the hospital, I start rounding on the patients, make sure everything is going well and doing a physical exam on them. Then I update my attendings about the progress of these patients, give them my plan and see if they have any other recommendations. Then I write my progress notes and the first part of the day is done. Then the second part of the day, which is surgeries. Surgeries generally start around 7 a.m. So all these tasks that I told you about have to be done before surgeries start. The number of surgeries, the type of these surgeries, and how long does each surgery take will vary a lot from a rotation to another. So for example, in plastic surgery, a free flap is usually a long case. Well, if you have a few tissue expanders or breast implants for breast reconstruction, you usually do 2 to 3 a day. What are my responsibilities during the surgery? It will also vary based on the surgery complexity and my level. So I'm currently a PGY3, which means I get to do a good portion of the majority of the cases. However, for complicated cases such as a free flap, usually a senior PGY4, PGY5 does the majority of the case. When you're scrubbing in the case that this is the first time you see, this is a new case, you start by observing the case, seeing how it's done, and doing possibly minimal portions of it. But as this gets repeated, you start getting more and more responsibilities for that surgery. So for example, the first time I did a tissue expander, I was mainly watching the surgeon do it, explaining to me the steps of that surgery. The second time, they gave me more portions of that surgery, so I did around 30% of the case. Third time I did it, I got 50% of the case. And then after 4 or 5 times, I was doing around 90% of the case. So the amount of autonomy that you will get in each case will depend on how many times have you done this case, how complex this case is, are there more senior residents, more fellows in that room, and of course your surgical skills. What matters at the end of the day is to provide a safe surgery for each patient, and that is definitely the responsibility and the goal of the surgeon is to teach you, but also make sure that the patient stays safe. As a PGY3 in most of the hospitals I rotate at this point, I hold the pager, which means for new consults that come from the floor or new consults that come from the ED, I'm the one who's supposed to go and see them, staff them with the attendings, and give the plan to the team that consulted us. So if there is something emergent that needs immediate attention and I'm in the OR, I have to scrub out to go and assist with that consult. However, the majority of consults are not urgent, so that means they can wait a little bit. So if I have multiple short cases, let's say each case is an hour, and mid-case I get a page, I usually finish the case and go see the consults between cases. Also, patient questions or nurses' questions, I usually answer them between surgeries unless there is something urgent that needs immediate attention. Around noon, whenever the chance allows, I usually grab lunch. There is no specific time for breaks in surgical residencies. So if, for example, you have a case that starts at 11 and ends at 1, in that case, you can choose to grab lunch at 11 or at 1. You're not going to scrub out at noon specifically to grab lunch. However, if you have a long day, let's say you have one surgery that lasts from 7 a.m. until 5 p.m., in that case, you can take a break between 11 to 2 p.m. and you can grab lunch, take a break, and then come back to surgery. So even if you have a long case, that doesn't mean you have to stay continuously in that case without a single break. So that's how the majority of my day goes, between seeing consults, responding to nurses' questions, doing surgeries, and generally we finish around 4 or 5 p.m. When I come back home, I usually finish any work that needs to be completed from the day. For example, notes or consults I didn't catch up on, so I try to finish these, and then I start preparing for the next day. So I start reading about the patients that we are operating on tomorrow. I study a little bit about the surgeries if I'm not familiar with them, and that's how you mainly learn in residency. In residency, you don't have one single book that you go from beginning to end. You usually tailor your studying based on the surgeries that you have. So let's say I have a cleft lip tomorrow, and this is the first time I scrub in cleft lip, or the second time I start reading about cleft lip. So when I see the surgery, I get more out of this surgery. This tailored studying helped me a lot in my residency, and I think is the best way to support your surgical learning is by studying before, and then when you go to surgery, you already have so much knowledge about this surgery, and you can ask the surgeon questions, smart questions at that point. You can take more from what they explain to you. After I'm done with all that, I work out or go out, grab dinner, possibly record YouTube videos, and catch up on any work that needs to be done for the match guy. And by that time, it's 9 or 10 p.m. and it's time to sleep. So that's in summary how my day looks like as a plastic surgery resident. Now you tell me, how does your day looks like as a surgical resident or an internal medicine resident or any resident in any specialty by dropping a comment below. If you find any value in this video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. If you're someone who's interested in coming to the US to do residency here, I think that would be a great step because the residency training here is amazing. But if you need any help along the way, from advising to personal statement editing, ERAS application editing, interview preparation, we have all these services available to you and from top-notch advisors who match at top institutions. So if you'd like to learn about any of these services, go ahead and schedule a free consultation with our customer support team or check out the different services we have, and I'll leave the links for all these in the description below. Thank you everyone so much for watching, and good luck on your journey.